Hey everybody, this is Arturo, and this is a new tutorial video talking about caricature. Caricature is something I love to do. I don't do it as often as I'd like, but it's really fun. That's all I can say. Really, it's really fun. It's great, and. In this case, I'm going to do a caricature of Lionel Messi. He's my favorite football player or soccer player, wherever you are. And I did this as I was watching the Ballon d'Or yesterday, January 11th. And I got my reference images just like I did with the other tutorial. Like I said, I searched it on Google, went to images, and took a screenshot of the results, and I was trying to work out a sketch of how I'm going to go about it. This video is going to be pretty much like 90% real time. I'll try to edit it out where it's needed, but it's mostly going to be real time. It took me about 2 hours to do it, the whole thing, and this video is going to be an hour and a half. Okay, so I hope you can get a lot from it. You know, like I said, this is how I go about doing one of these caricatures. Hopefully you can try these methods, these techniques out, and see if they work for you. If not, then make sure to find your own method of working. You know, I always say that. I like to watch DVDs and tutorials a lot, but I like to bring my own experience into play, you know. Here, I'm taking my time a little bit to figure out what I'm going to do with this caricature. It's going to be a full body caricature, as you can see. It's not just a bust or just the face. I did a series of these, I think it was a couple of years ago, of Messi, Cristiano Ronaldo, Thomas Müller, and other players. I enjoy working it in the full body expression. You can say even more with the full body than just the face. Most cases, most caricatures really exaggerate the features and they focus on that mostly. I'm not exaggerating the features a whole lot in this case, but because I don't like to do that too much. Here I'm trying something different. I'm trying the whole. He's holding all 5 of his Ballon d'Or trophies. And as I was working on this, I was pretty sure he was gonna win. I mean, he had all the merits, everything he did last year was. I was to assume that he had to win the award, but you never know. You never know. So later on, I paused my video and I was like, well, I don't really want to make an ass out of myself doing this. So I made sure that he won, and I kept on with my tutorial, with my recording. But it was I had done like 75% of the piece when I said, well, maybe it's not such a good idea to finish this thing all gung-ho, because I was pretty sure he was gonna win goal of the year, because that goal he scored against Athletic Bilbao, is one of the best goals I've seen in my life. I haven't been a soccer fan for too long. It's going to be 10 years, almost. Yeah, I mean, I used to watch the World Cup and things like that when it came up, but I was never really a fan of a particular club. Then one of my best friends from school, he's a huge Barcelona fan, and we used to get together and have lunch on Saturdays and watch one of their games if it was on. If not, then it didn't matter. But then after, in 2006, when they won their second Champions League, I started paying more attention to the team and to Messi in particular, because, like I said, he's my favorite player in the game. I've done I don't know how many caricatures of him because he has a very caricaturable face. I mean, his features are very exaggerated. He looks cartoony, you know. But and you can really push that as far as you want to go with how exaggerated you want to make it, like really big nose, really big ears, really big hair, like you can see, and a thick neck, you know. But like I said, try it out, explore. I made a video. It's a bonus video that you'll find in the product list where I talk about sketch exploration. Check it out, and you'll see what I mean. I'm almost finished with the first sketch, but it's not really looking that good to me. You know, that's why I was hesitating in the video. I'm like, do I keep on with this? I mean, is it really worth it? But like I mentioned in the other video, don't stick with your first sketch. Don't stick with your first design. Explore. Push it a bit further. Here I'm going with like a new pose and a new angle. This one's a bit more confident for whatever reason. Like I said, you do these sketches to warm up, to get loose, you know. Everything will come out easier once you're warmed up, just like any other muscle for athletes and stuff. You have to warm up to avoid injury. I wanted to have him point up, you know, like he does every time he scores a goal, dedicating his goals to his grandma, apparently. So he's gonna have one hand up, and in the other he's going to be holding the trophy. It's like, yeah, that'll work. Not all 5 trophies or whatever. I'm just focusing on the one he got this year. Oh, for last year. I think the arm might have been too long, even in the end, going over. This is a method I've been using every time I do, like, even stylized or express portraits, you know, like where it takes me like 5 or 8 minutes to do a portrait of a person. I focus on the silhouette of their head, because I have to make sure that the silhouette of their head is recognizable, especially if it's a group of people waiting in line to get their sketch done. You have to be able to tell one person apart from the other, you know. That's why the silhouette helps you to do that, you know. Here I can tell just from the silhouette of his face that that's Messi. I mean, it's not any other player in particular. The shape of the neck, his chin, the ears, the hair. That's the frame of the facial features that come into play later. I'm feeling a lot better about this sketch. A lot better. Tiny little feet. I do like one of these a year or something like that. The one I did last year came out really well. I liked it a lot. It was just a caricature of his face, but like the more you do it, the more you practice, the more you look, the more you see, you know. So I was really happy with how it came out. I thought about using that same caricature I did and just adding the body to it like I did a couple of years ago, but I thought, no, it's not worth it. I mean, let's keep going forward. Let's try something. Let's see how good it comes out this year. Let's not use something old and try to recycle it. In the end, it didn't come out as well as the other one, if I'm completely honest. But I'm happy that I stuck to my guns. That I was like, no, I'm gonna do something new. So. And the added pressure of the video recording is you know, it's a bit of a pain sometimes. Especially like I mentioned in the other video, I'm working really far away. I'm working and it's sometimes hard. I mean, it's better, especially for something like this, that you have to focus on the big picture. You know, stay far away. Don't focus on the little details, the little bitty things here and there. Take your time and wait till you're in the color stage, because the process I'm going to follow in this sketch is I'm going to do a couple of sketches, then I'm going to work in grayscale, then I'm going to take that to a specific point as I finish the shading in grayscale, then I'm going to add the colors. And once the colors are added, then I'm going to start working on opaque layers, like right on top, no new layers, and then working on bit by bit. I tried to commit to what I have, and the thing with digital is that you can change it, I mean, to no end. So I don't worry about it too much. I commit to what I have. I say, this is good, this is going to work, and that's what I do. I'm working on his face by memory, you know. He has a very particular mouth, and his lower lip, it's very distinctive, you know, like it hangs out a bit. There's always a little bit of a shadow underneath, you know. I also recommend, other than using the different reference images like I have right now, is if you can find like a video interview of the person that you're going to draw, I found that that works really well too. I mean, not just using a picture to do the portrait or caricature, but using the video, you get all sorts of expressions, and you see how their faces behave in a way. So I did that for a portrait I did of James Cameron a few years ago, I think, and I was really happy with how it came out, because I noticed how he talks. His mouth looked or moved in a particular way. Here I went back to Google Images, and I found a better image of his face. Not an image that I was going to stick to 100%, but a better view of his facial features. I'll show it in the references. I'll add it to there in a little bit. You'll see. And what I did to the picture, I found, is I flipped it. There we go. That's the picture I used. I flipped it and I stretched it out a little bit because it was really squashed down for some reason. But I showed you the one I'm using. I kept it off to the side. I think I'm going to add it into the reference images. Pretty sure. Yeah, here it comes. There we go. Collapse that. And we're good to go. Okay, so even the reference image is pretty far away. Another distinctive feature, dimples and cheekbones. These things are sometimes like watching grass grow, but that's just how it works, you know? It's just how it is. It's fun to be working on it, but for people actually watching it, it's a bit harder. We'll see how the season goes. The second half of the season, how it goes this year. I think they have a pretty strong team this year as well. Let's see if all those extra games last year, they take their toll. I mean, he got injured in what was it? October? Late September, something like that. He was out 2 months, and Neymar and Luis Suarez had to pick up the slack, and that they did. You know, everybody was like, Messi who? You know, but he came back and gave him a chance to rest. You know, he was injured, but he gets a couple of games off. And he played the Club World Cup and scored a goal in that, so it's not bad. It's coming along much better than the last sketch. Yeah. Oh yeah. That's the cool thing about Photoshop, you know. If it was in pencil, I would have been erasing, but you can just make a selection, twist it, turn it, warp it, increase the size, decrease the size. Even with the whole image, you could just liquefy and push and pull and nudge here and there. I mean, it's just so awesome to work digitally. I do still work traditionally sometimes, but really rarely. You know, like once a week, maybe. Maybe, you know. I'm just thinking right now, whoever's watching this, I just hope they're soccer fans, because otherwise they have no idea what I'm talking about. Doing a bit of cleanup here and there. Pretty happy with what I have as a sketch. Yeah, let's adjust the features a bit more. Like I said, make selection. Increase, decrease. Yeah, that was looking weird. I'm glad I fixed that. Sometimes you're working so close to the piece or whatever you're doing that you can't really see all the mistakes that you're making. I forgot to flip the image in this piece, so you can really see a lot of your mistakes when you flip your image. Make the nose just a bit wider, you know, like the bridge of the nose. Because that's quite a conch he's got. I'm almost done with the sketch phase. I'm going to start moving into the grayscale. Yeah, step back. Pretty good, pretty good. Yeah. There we go. The shading stage. I made a selection outside of my sketch and cleaned it up a bit. You know, you modify, contract or expand depending on where you are, and you do that by 3 pixels. If I'm contracting, I select outside, I clean up my selection, I invert it, then I contract the selection by 3 pixels. And once I'm happy with what I have, I create a new layer beneath my line art, and I fill it in with I think it's about 50% gray, or something like that. It's a nice midpoint. The image, the selection is really fuzzy, and you can't really work with it. But I mean, you can't. It's not final. There's going to be a lot of refining in it. So I start working in the shadows of the piece. Eventually, there we go. This is fun too. I mean, the whole thing is fun. Otherwise, why do it at all? You know, doesn't mean it's easy. Nobody ever said fun was easy. I apologize for all those little bits where I'm not really doing anything because I was watching the event as I was working, so it was a bit distracting sometimes. Another way of going about the shading is you create a new layer on top and you set it to overlay, and you start working with your other darker and lighter grays. But in this case, I'm going straight with a normal layer. Keep figuring out how the sketch will look, trying to add little details here and there, not particularly sticking with the line art as the only point of reference, like those little folds in the shirt are going to be shown through the shading. Here I'm going to go to a bit of a highlight. It's really easy to give volume and shape to these things with just a couple of colors, just a couple of values. Just go with a lighter gray, darker gray, and the figure really starts to come out, you know? If you're not comfortable with color, I mean, sticking with grayscale is not a bad way to go. I mean, there's awesome artwork that's done almost completely or exclusively in grayscale or black and white, and it looks great. You know, that's how I started when I started digitally painting. I wasn't that comfortable with color. I'm a little bit more comfortable now, like 12 years later, you know. And because I started painting digitally in 2004, and time just flew by. And like I said, I'm comfortable with the tools. Like I said, I'm really comfortable with Photoshop, but even the concept of light and dark, light in general, and color and how that behaves in light, it's hard sometimes. I'm not sure how many of these he's going to win. By merit alone or just by media power or whatever. If it's going to be 6 or 7, because they say that they count the whole world of players, but it doesn't feel like it. Again, I apologize for background noise. My studio is right next to one of these main streets. You get all sorts of noises, motorcycles and buses and trucks and whatever. Using the color picker to get the different values that I like. I used to make a mistake of thinking that the whole body or the whole piece was equally lit. You know, where you would see the same highlights and shadows on the shirt as you would on the shorts, and that's just not how that works. You know. You'll see it as I work on this. I try to keep the focus of the stronger highlights on the top of his body or in the points of interest, his face, and because I don't really want you to be looking at his feet or his shoes. I just hope that I'm able to watch him play a game live, you know, flying to Barcelona and catching a game. That'd be pretty awesome. Soon. You know, never say never. Cleaning up that base selection that we did. finding that lower lip like I mentioned before. It's hard to see what's going on when you're really far away. To add a bit more detail and give it special attention to the trophy. Trying to get as much detail as I can in from pretty far away, you know. I'll be including the PSD for this piece as well, to show the different elements in different layers if I have it. I think I did, because it's hard to keep track of all the things of showing the different steps and process, because like I mentioned before, I commit a lot of the times and I just collapse the layers. I duplicate it and collapse it, and duplicate it and work on it and collapse, and to give you a before and after. But, oh, here we go. I'm using the same brush I used for the sketch as it is for the highlights and the shadows, for the shading. I'm going to work on a tutorial video of how I go about making a stylized portrait, or just a basic portrait I did, because I did one of my little girls late last year, that I'm really happy with how it came out. And let's see what you guys think. You can see the little cover image for FIFA 2016, or FIFA 16 if you ask EA. And we got that game for Christmas, because my brothers have it, and now I have it as well. And it's really fun. It's a real male bonding tool, you know. We use it a lot, especially when my younger brother's living in Ireland. And something that we did before he moved away with his family. And so we'll start that up late this month, or maybe early next month, because I'm diversifying my sources of income right now, doing these, finishing up my graphic novel, and as well as working on big projects for clients right now. I'm going to be working on a storyboarding tutorial because I like to do that too. I don't do it as often because it's really taxing. I mean, it really takes it out of you. It's physically and mentally demanding, but it's fun. It's fun to figure out all those different shots that you're going to use. But like I said, just because it's fun doesn't mean it's easy. But I'll do that maybe for late this month or early next month, because I'm in the middle of working on a project with storyboards, and I might just take advantage of that I'm not so rusty with them right now, so I can show you some of the techniques I use for storyboarding for advertising, which I'm pretty sure you could use for movies and whatever else you're going to storyboard. Jumping all over the place with details here, details there. Adding some detail to the hair. You have to be careful not to focus too much, in the sense that you want every single strand to be separate. You know, you just have to work on it from far away. Make it realistic enough, but fussy enough at the same time, you know. Here I'm going to add the colors, and I chose one of the brushes I have in my brush pack. You can get that. I made it available in the other tutorial I made for the web mascot. I like it because it's fuzzy enough, like an airbrush, but it has texture, you know. So I like the way it looks. I like the way it comes out at the end, you know, because it makes the colors blend together more. It just doesn't look so digital, or, I mean, it's all digital, but you're going for a specific look. That's why you can add some textures to your brushes or to your overall piece. You know, you can find some nice textures online. In this case, I didn't do it. I went with more rustic textures, more basic textures that you can find in Photoshop. I'll show you what I did at the end. Here I'm color picking a bit from the reference I have for the uniform. Helps me be more exact. I'm still being pretty general when I lay down the colors right now. There's no need to be as specific. That'll come on later on. still in the coloring stage, but I had to pause for a bit. For some reason, I don't remember what it was. Oh, I think that's when I paused it because I needed to make sure he actually won the trophy. Because that would have been embarrassing. I mean, look at all the work that went into this. That was like an hour's worth. No, it was like 45 minutes apparently. But, yeah. Here I warmed up the skin texture and going for some more saturated colors here and there in the ears, in the cheekbones, the chin. That's where I saw it on the reference image. Like I said, still very general. Adding some of that beard color. I went for a green. You can do that with blue, I think, but blue is it's a very drastic difference. Green blends in a bit better with the skin tone. And the beard the stubble looks greenish, so I guess that's the way to go. But the colors are being laid in on a clipping mask on top, set to overlay. You can try out different layer styles like color or just click around, see what comes out. And here what I did, I took the base image, the grayscale that I was working on, and I picked the skin color, and I hit Command U or Control U, and I clicked where it says colorize at the bottom, because I wanted to warm up the piece overall, to get rid of that pencil-y look, that very aggressive pencil-y look or grayscale that was underneath. I mean, it's still monochromatic that we're laying the colors on top, but it looks better. I mean, you can tell the difference, like when I did that, how it warmed the whole piece overall. Tried to stay away from pure black and pure white in this. I mean, white's for the background, and the shadows in his uniform are pretty dark, but I didn't want to go with 100% black. See, now if you look at the side, I collapsed my color layer because I felt comfortable with what I had. I'm like, yeah, I can work with this. If you don't feel comfortable, make your original layer and your new color layer a group, and you can duplicate that. That way you can keep things separate. Here I'm adding some of the highlights to the blue, but I'm working opaquely now. I'm not working on any layer style or anything. I sampled the color from that photo to the side, and I'm adding it where I think it needs to go. And now I'm color picking the color palette I have on the piece already. So trying to add some of that reflection of the uniform onto the trophy. Now that I see it, that wasn't such a good call to add the blue to the what do you call it? The socks, the stockings? No, they're socks still, right? Still staying pretty far away. The next stage, I'm gonna split the image. You'll see what we can do to have the far away view and the up close view up at the same time. It's really useful, really helpful to get a general view. And the cool thing is you can still work on that far away view. I'll show you in a little bit. Yeah, that was too aggressive right there. Sculpting a little bit with the colors and the different tones I have. Yeah, I have to go much darker with the beard. I'll add the stubble detail later on. I didn't want to have a very big step between the highlights and the midtones and the shadows. Tried to keep the values close together. In the cheekbone, I think I went a little too aggressive, but here I went with a light desaturated blue for the highlights. Whoop. It's a big old ear. I could have gone softer there. But I still need to draw your attention to the ears a bit. Sorry about that clicking, it's my chair. It's a bit noisy. See? I mean, what is it? Clink, 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 clink. Yeah, that was really aggressive in that ear. Glad I toned that down. You can still see how the shorts are pretty much outside of the light. I mean, there's some light hitting it, but it's not as bright as what's on his chest at all. Here, I'm going to create the new window. You go up top where it says Arrange, Then you go to right there by the bottom that says new window for your file, and that's just another version of your file that you can keep open to the side. Here I'm going to crop the whole piece. There we go. And it applied the same effect to the other one. I'm going to keep them floating. Make this one much smaller, because this is my far away view and this is my up close view, and it's the exact same file, and you can work on either one, but this one helps me get up close and still get a good idea of the overall look of the piece. If you haven't tried that, I suggest you do, because it's really cool. Still, like I said, well, in this case I made a new layer for these new extra details that I'm working in, and once I'm comfortable with what I have, I'll collapse that. I mean, just like I've been doing with the other steps. Yeah, let's make this look more like hair. So you cut into it with the skin color. You see that it's that same brush that I used for the color. It's got an edge, but it's a fuzzy edge, you know. It's not as aggressive or as sharp as the round tool, or not as fuzzy as the airbrush, you know. The round tool, the round brush. Sorry. Working in that buzz cut, yes, on the sides. You see, I'm spending what, 90% of my time right now on the face. The face is the most important part for me right now. And in general, I think that I kept the face far more defined than anything else. It's a conscious decision, you know. Yeah, I really like the natural texture this brush has, because it works well with the grainy texture from that pencil or charcoaly brush that I used. You know, they work well together, I think. And I will fuse both things later on with this noise filter that I'm going to add. You'll see later on. Pay attention to those crow's feet. Oh. You see, I liked what I had, so collapsed it. Could have been more aggressive with the white on the side of his face, you know, because he's set in a white background. It would have been better to help him blend in. Here I took down that aggressive shadow of his right cheekbone. Trying to match the reference image from of his face, throwing the teeth more into the shadow. You're gonna have to throw his eyes, the white of his eyes, in the shadow more as well. Yeah. Might go with just that. If I'm not happy with it, I'll go over the final image. If I don't like it, I'll really go dark with those eyes, because they're really sunk back. That's what I saw in most of his reference images that I used for the second video. You'll see that in the bonus content. Yeah, I need it to be darker than that. Blending in the tones a bit more, mid-tones, shadows. This is the whole figuring out figuring it out part of the piece, you know. Oh, here I'm adding some of the beard stubble with a scatter brush that I've got. Little by little. You see me going over it again and again. Make sure I make it a clipping mess, because I did it in a separate layer, but those lines on the side of his mouth are too strong. Trying to define the teeth a bit more. Yeah, after this, I think I took some time away from the piece. Like I went to lunch, or I had lunch or something like that, and then I came back to it to keep working on it. It's coming along, but there's still work left to be done here. Yep. This is after lunch. I came back and went back to working on his eyes, if I'm not mistaken. Working really fine, really small brush. It's the same brush, but just tiny. Took some liberty, artistic license actually, with the highlights of the eyes, because you couldn't really see them in the reference image. I was like, I want some highlight on those damn eyes. So that's what I did. Here I'm adding a bit of more definition to his hand, because I really neglected it for a long time. Using the airbrush to blend in the hair strands into each other a bit more, trying not to make them so obvious. Defining that buzz cut a bit and the sideburn. Yeah, that needed some work. This is the home stretch of this piece. Adding some rendering to the hand, but staying pretty far away. I don't want to pay as much attention as I did to the face to the hand, and that's on purpose, you know. using the red to cut into the trophy. Tried being really specific and sharp with that detail on his collar, and I was like, it's not worth it. If you want to go as detailed and as rendered and as pay as much attention to everything as you want, I mean, you decide. You're the boss in that sense. Okay. Like I said, this piece was for me, and that's what I wanted to focus on. That's what I wanted to pay attention to, the face mostly, and just hint at the details of the body here and there, you know. You need to go back in there in the final piece and refine a couple of things here and there, because that his right arm is way too long. Like the arm he's holding the trophy with, it's just ridiculously long. So I have to adjust that. Still looking pretty cool from far away. Using the burn tool a bit here and there to darken some parts. I've seen other tutorials from other artists for caricature and stuff like that, but you take all those suggestions into account, all their techniques and all their methods, but even with this, just take what you want, what you need from it, from what I'm doing here, and add your own observations, your own bits of experience to your work, and that's how you'll start to define your style and the way you work. I don't do these every week or even every month, but when I have the chance to work on these, I really enjoy it. I mean, I hope you can see it from what I'm doing here. Sorry if you heard some ringing. That was my wife checking in. Anyways, adding some of that detail from the bottom reflected on top of it. Well, reflected onto the ball. One side of that trophy looks smushed in. I think I corrected that in the final. I was thinking of adding the number 10 to the shorts, but I was like, nah, never mind. Everybody knows what number this guy is. Here I'm adding some of the finishing touches. I duplicate my final layer, and I go to high pass. And I set it to like 4.9. Set that layer to soft light. It's not so obvious this time around, but I have to make it a clipping mask and then collapse it to apply that filter. And then what am I doing here? Oh yeah, I'm adding some noise to blend the whole thing together. Monochromatic, no. Set to overlay. About 20-something%. Yeah. And that's pretty much it. That's the end of this tutorial. Thank you for getting it. I hope it's been helpful to you. I hope these techniques, these things that I've done here can help you in your work. And I'd love to see your caricatures or whatever you use these techniques on. Let me know. Okay, if you have any questions, let me know in the messages on Gumroad. And stay tuned for more tutorials. This is the final image. Thank you very much. God bless. Keep creating and keep creative. Bye-bye.